Are you looking for a change? Summer moving season is here, and right now the market is red hot. At Frankie's Fine Homes, we are committed to putting you in your dream home. Surrounded with great neighbors, a desirable location, and of course, at the right price. Frankie's Fine Homes, your expert guide for the perfect summer move.
All right, the for sale sign is back, and so is our real estate agent. So that means it's time for another edition of Frankie's Fine Homes.
Let's move some property today, Sarah.
Let's do it, Frankie. Okay, we've got pending UFA Brock Boeser's name on top of the sign. So we want you to list the top 3 homes for him.
All right, why don't we start out in Ottawa, the nation's capital, and everyone loves a familiar neighbor, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to have good neighbors. Well, why not reunite with your former head coach, Travis Green, who was Brock Boeser's coach with the Vancouver Canucks?
Right.
So you have a little familiarity there, and you have to like that this is a team that is entering their window to win right now. We just saw the Ottawa Senators finally make the playoffs. They want to continue taking steps forward, and Brock Boeser can help them do that, and he has the opportunity to be a veteran guy on a team with a good young core, something that, you know, players like to have a little more responsibility as time goes on. Brock Boeser can certainly do that. The Ottawa Senators were a bottom 5 team in the NHL at 5-on-5 scoring. They have to improve next season, and Brock Boeser can help them do that. The other team I like, the Minnesota Wild. How about playing at home? Everyone likes to be home. There's no place like home. Brock Boeser,
right.
of course, from Minnesota. And he'll have the opportunity to play with a great player like Kirill Kaprizov, who, when he's healthy, is one of the best players in the National Hockey League. So you have to like that. And a team that is starved for offense. The Minnesota Wild, a good defensive team. They could really use a player like Brock Boeser. And, of course, the Winnipeg Jets. Close to home. Not exactly home, but we like being within the vicinity of our friends and family and people that we know. It's a contending team. We just saw them win the President's Trophy. They won a round in the playoffs, and you can attach yourself to something. They have one of the best goaltenders in the league, and they have a very good number 1 centerman who are signed there long-term, so you know that there's going to be a good nucleus of players there moving forward. Now, we'll see what happens with Kyle Connor. Of course, you'd like him to be there. We'll see what happens as far as, you know, Nick Ehlers probably not going to be there or maybe not going to be there. That is your contingency plan in Brock Boeser, but there's a lot of things that would make all 3 of these cities good fits for Brock Boeser.
Okay, so we're selling him on moving east. Just how far he goes, we're not sure. But Boeser's career high in goals, it came 2 years ago when he scored 40. However, that's the only time he eclipsed the 30-goal mark. So, Frankie, at 28 years old, what is Boeser's ceiling as an NHL sniper?
Brock Boeser is he's probably a guy who's going to be in and around that low 30s, high 20s if he's healthy. The reason why he hadn't hit 30 in years past is because he hadn't been healthy. He had injuries, and of course has a great season a couple of years ago with 40. But I think if he plays that, you know, 75 game threshold, he's going to be a 30-goal scorer. And the thing I like about him, he's got a shot that can beat goaltenders clean and from distance. Not an easy thing to do, but Brock Boeser does it pretty well.
Maybe he'll go home to Minnesota, get that home cooking, stay healthy. We'll see. You got a strong case, though, for all 3 destinations. In just a few days' time, we will see where Boeser ultimately decides to move.